the best thing that can happen to you as a man is to suffer. Because if you just think about all those moments where you felt pain physically and emotionally, those moments where it was extremely hard for you to get out, those were the periods of your life where you made the most progress. Because when everything is going well and you have no problems, you're happy, you're comfortable, you're not going to take any action to actually change something. You're not going to try to better yourself because you're happy where you are. Everything's going fine. You don't have any need to change your current situation. And it's just like, oh, everything is fine. I can just do whatever I'm doing right now and I'm going to be happy. And that's why you never make progress in those moments. But when something happens that's just like disturbs your peace, and then you have no choice to do something about it, you have no choice to take action, well, now you start to make changes. Now you have the motivation to be like, okay, I have to do something about it. And this is where you start to make progress. And this is why I'm saying that as a man specifically, if you don't have any problems, if you're not suffering, you're not going to become a strong man. You're not going to become a strong man by just having an easy life, no problems, because every time you have a problem, you have to solve it. To solve it, you have to acquire skills. You have to research something. You have to become smarter. You have to become stronger. You have to do something about it. And in the process of solving that problem, you learn. You become a smarter man. You become a stronger man. And those skills that you acquire by solving those problems, then you can use them in other assets of your life. And when you encounter another problem, you're calmer because you know what to do now. Because you're like, okay, I went through this hard thing, and you know, this new problem, I can take it. I can take it because I know that every time a problem came into my life, I fixed it. And it gives you a certain amount of confidence. And next time another problem comes, you're not stressed. Or you are stressed, but in a good way. In a way where you're like, okay, I have to do something about it, and I'm gonna take action. But you're not gonna just cry and just complain and be like, oh, I don't know what to do. No, you're gonna take action and do something about it. And I had a lot of those unpleasant situations in my life, and a lot of them you can probably relate to because a lot of them are common. So, for example, the first heartbreak, and then you start to go to the gym. But a lot of them they were quite unique as well. But the biggest progress and growth that I've made in my life was because of one particular situation. It clicked something in me, and that was when my mom got cancer. Because in that moment, it was different than the other situations. Because, for example, your girl leaves you. Now you're pissed, you're angry, you're sad, and you go to the gym. You take action, which is great. But if, for example, you don't go to the gym, what's gonna happen is you're just gonna feel sad and depressed. If you go to the gym, you're gonna feel better about yourself and you're gonna feel happier. With my mom, she got cancer. If I don't take action, not only am I gonna be sad, but she's not gonna stay alive. And you see, the consequences are much worse. But the thing is, because the consequences are worse and I knew that, I was extremely dedicated to take action because in that particular situation, you know that if you don't take action by making research about how to heal that person, if you don't do those things yourself to show example, if you don't provide the right support, you know that that person might not survive. And that's why you have no choice to take action. You cannot be lazy because if you're lazy or you try to distract yourself from this pain, then the person's going to die. And that is a problem. And that's why I'm saying that those moments in your life when you feel extreme amount of pain, those moments are the best thing that can happen to you because then you're gonna start to take action. And the worse are the consequences, the more likely that you're gonna take action. Because you know that if you don't take action, this is gonna be the consequences. Someone is gonna die, something's gonna happen to your loved ones. Because again, if you don't go to the gym, your girl left you, you're just gonna feel sad. That's the consequence. But you know, if you don't provide the right support, if you don't make the right actions on how to improve the state of somebody else, that person might die. And that's why I'm saying that no matter what you're going through, be grateful for it. Because depending on how you use the situation, either you're going to grow and make a lot of progress and you're going to solve the problem, or you're just going to become depressed. And you, not like you're going to catch depression, no, you will become depressed because of your own action. You're going to feel sad, the solution will never come, the problem is going to get worse, and overall you're just going to live a crappy life. So the advice that I can give you is, the next time something bad happens, it doesn't matter what, see it as something good, because you know that you will grow from it. But again, you will only grow if you take action, if you actually try to solve the problem. And even though maybe the problem doesn't get solved, because you know you tried your best, like actually tried your best, and it didn't get solved, it happens. But you still acquired some amount of skills to try to solve this problem. So those skills that you acquired, you can then use later for other problems. So it's not like you lose if the problem doesn't get fixed. No, you still win. Even though the problem didn't get fixed, but you took action, you still learned something. You became better in the process of trying to solve this problem. Now, you got to be careful, because then you might think, okay, well, you know, if I make myself suffer, everything's going to be fine because now I'm going to have motivation to like take action. You have to be careful not to take it in a way where you're going to self-sabotage yourself. You know the meme where they say like, okay, you have a good relationship with a woman and now you just ruin it on purpose so that you have more motivation in the gym. Like that's stupid. Don't do that. Don't self-sabotage, or don't like, that's the reason a lot of people procrastinate. They know that if, for example, they're stressed or they're forced to do something, then they have the motivation to take action. Like they procrastinate homework or they procrastinate their work, and then when the deadline is coming, they're like, "Oh, I have the motivation to actually like work and take action." That's just stupid. Instead, create the suffering not in a way where you self-sabotage yourself, but in a way where you try things. You're not staying in a comfortable zone. You try things, you do something, because when you start to go out of your comfortable zone, you're going to start to suffer. You're going to start to encounter problems. Because if you never encounter problems, that means that you're not doing anything. Because if you're taking action, if you're trying to do something that perhaps is hard, of course you're going to suffer. And of course you're going to encounter some challenges in a way. And that's going to be good, because then you will take action, you will have the motivation to do something about your situation, to improve it, and then you become a better person and you have progress. But again, if you don't take action, if you don't get out of this comfortable zone, then you know you're never gonna have this suffering, this pain that you need to start to take action and better yourself. But be careful to not try to find this pain, the source of energy, by self-sabotaging yourself in a way where you just, hit rock bottom and you're like, okay, now that I hit rock bottom, now I have the motivation to like do something. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because I made the same mistakes. I was the type of person who were doing the right things, and I was going up, I was making progress, and then I don't have pain anymore. I don't have this source of energy that I love. And now I start to self-sabotage. I start to self-sabotage relationships. I start to procrastinate so that certain things become really stressful because the deadline is coming, and then you know I hit rock bottom, and now I have no choice but to take action if I want to get out of this rock bottom. And now I have this pain, this energy that I can use to start to make progress again, to take action. But that's a problem, because that pain that I created to myself was by self-sabotaging. And that's the thing, because if you're doing progress and you're going up because you have this pain that you're using as energy to take action and motivate yourself, and now you don't have this pain anymore, so like, okay, I gotta find this source of energy. I have to find this pain and suffering. And now, instead of Instead of taking on challenges, instead of like pushing yourself and getting out of the comfort zone, what you do is you self sabotage. You self sabotage, and by self sabotaging, now you start to go down. But by going down, you start to feel pain and suffering. And now you're like, okay, now I have the source of energy that I needed to go up again. And now you're just doing like up and down, and you just stay at the same level. That's a problem. What you have to do, and what now I'm doing, because I used to do this up and down, which is just stupid, is you're making progress. Good. Good. You went through a situation that was hard, and you start to make progress, you start to take action, you use that pain to, better yourself, but now you don't feel that pain anymore. What do you have to do now? You don't self-sabotage. What you do is you take on new challenges, you get out of your comfort zone, you do something hard. By doing something hard, obviously you will feel pain, and then you can use that pain to go up even higher, make more progress. That's how you should do it. And this is why a lot of people, they're stuck in this cycle. That cycle comes from this. Your body knows that, okay, I'm only productive when I'm feeling pain and suffering. But the problem is, instead of getting that suffering and pain, that source of energy, by taking on new challenges and getting out of your comfort zone, and by doing hard things, what you do is you just self sabotage to the point where, like, you destroy what you worked for, and now you feel ashamed, you feel pain, and then you use this pain to go back up to the same place where you were. That is stupid. That is absolutely stupid. That's what I used to do. And this is probably what you're doing right now. And that's what I want to tell you. Please, you have to do something about it. Because otherwise, you will never end up going higher than you intend to. Because you're just gonna do up and downs, stay at the same level. To the men that are listening, the best thing that can happen to you is to suffer. Try to find ways to make yourself suffer and feel pain by doing hard things, not by self sabotaging, by doing hard things. Once you're not afraid anymore of the pain and of the suffering, you're gonna start to do hard things. Because a lot of the times, the reason why a lot of people don't do those hard things, which, by the way, just so you know, when you do hard things, good things happen. That's usually the correlation. When you do hard things, good things happen. But the thing is, a lot of people know that the hard things, it comes with pain. But when they're afraid of the pain, they don't want to do it. So never do the hard things. And that is a problem. So stop being afraid. Stop being afraid of the pain. That's the best thing. That's the best source of energy that you can use. And if we look at the bigger picture, society tells you to suppress that anger. Society tells you to suppress those feelings of unsatisfaction, of shame, of anger. It tells you to just suppress it. It tells you that a man who feels anger, that's not good, you should suppress it, you should just talk about your feelings. That anger that you feel is the best source of energy that you have. You just have to direct it to the right place. It depends how you use it. Again, something is not bad or good. It always depends how you use it. Use that anger, use that fear, use that shame, use those negative emotions into something that will make you better. Because if you don't channel this energy that you feel inside of you, because that anger, you cannot suppress it. As a man, you will always feel angry. You will. But it depends where you channel it. If you channel it into becoming better, into taking action, because you're not satisfied, you're like, I'm angry at myself because I could have done more, I could have done better. Next time, I will do better. I will take action to become better. That's good. But then if you use that anger to just, try to suppress it by, taking drugs, distracting yourself, or you use that anger to lash out on other people, you see, it all depends how you use it. So, conclusion, the best thing you can do is try to find things that are hard to do. Obviously, you will suffer in the process. But that suffering, that pain that will come from doing those hard things, you will use it as unlimited amount of energy to motivate yourself to take action, to become better, and to progress.